What is going on, guys? Welcome back. This is episode 2, and it is NSFW, Not Safe for Wrestling Podcast, with your host, Obionex2. And right over there, we got JayStunZ.
Take 3.
Take 3. What's up, dude? How are you doing, Jay? Just say it.
Same crap, different toilet. Hello, all you lovely bum people, whatever we're supposed to call you. We're here, take 3, because first time Obi hit the go live button, said the record button, and then he had us muted. So here we are for take 3. Hopefully everything goes well this time. But hello.
Maybe. We might have to do this again. And with us up there, you guys see right above our heads, so you guys see we have a guest today, Crimson. What's going on, man? How are you doing?
How's it going, guys? Glad to be here. Just making sure we're not muted, right?
Kind of like deja vu, right?
It'll be more than deja. Triple deja vu.
Deja vu times 3. Yeah.
Deja vu.
Boo-boo. Yeah, okay, I got it. But what's up, guys? Let's welcome in to the show. Like I said, episode 2. We're going to be doing an NXT Portland recap, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Super Showdown, and maybe a little bit of what's going on, what we're starting to hear with Wrestle Mania. So, before we get into all the show, we want to get to know our guests just a little bit more. Crimson, what's first question that I have for you, sir, is why are you interested in wrestling?
I've grown up with it. My uncle's trained with the Road Warriors. He's trained with Clark. He's trained with a lot of the 90s wrestlers. Like especially now where I live at, I have the Mosh brothers living right down the street from me, as well as D'Lo Brown.
Dang.
Mosh and Thresh, you remember them, the headbangers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Luna.
Oh man. So are you a streamer or a YouTuber or
A streamer on Twitch.
okay.
Was part of different communities. Now I'm just a community manager for a stream team. And when I'm not doing that, I'm streaming Destiny 2 and Dead by Daylight.
Okay. Do you want to give your stream team, your community, you want to give them a shout out? Go right ahead.
The stream team I'm part of is called Joker's Wild. It's run by Joker X. He's a Twitch partner on Twitch. And basically it's just a family experience. We don't sit there and judge you by what you do, what you have, but we support you like a family.
Okay. All right.
I can vouch for that. He is a good dude. I've played and talked to him several times. He's a good dude.
Definitely. Well, we would do want to ask you or tell you, welcome to the show. Hope you have a good time here, and if you do, there'll be maybe a spot here in the future that you could slide right in. We're not gonna get into that, guys. But what's up, guys?
There's no sliding into anything. Let's get this going.
No. First of all, I want to make sure we give some shout outs. Of course, you guys see up and right above my head, there's a little slideshow going on. We do want to give big shout outs to, of course, Nameless Family. Love you guys. There's not much I can say about it except for this is my family.
Love you.
And then, of course, right up there next to it, or when it's coming in right now, Bearded Bean Coffee Company. If you guys are looking for some of the best coffee in the world, go ahead and go to beardedbeancoffeecompany.com. Use the code OB10. You get 10% off your entire order, no matter what you get. So, that being said, those are out of the way. Jay, you have any shout-outs?
No.
The mass group of people that you mentioned last night?
Yep.
Or last week?
Friends and family. Friends and family as always. Friends and family for keeping the strength.
Definitely. But we're going to get right into it, guys. We're going to go and start with a NXT TakeOver Portland recap. Now, when we were going through this and we were talking about it, we were, kind of, there were some calls made. By the way, Jay crushed the calls on almost every single match. But we're going to start with the top. We're going to start with the NXT Championship. Adam Cole versus Tommaso Ciampa. Jay, why don't you start out and you can just tell everybody that you were right and what you were right about.
Well, no, actually, I took Tommaso Ciampa in this match.
You did, but then you said...
I did say later on, I said that if Adam Cole did win, it would be interference from somebody, and that someone turned out to be Johnny Gargano because they're going to keep the Ciampa-Gargano angle going a little bit longer like I thought. And From what I heard and saw, it wasn't too bad of a match. I know Ciampa looked surprised as hell to see Gargano show up, so we'll see what happens with that.
He did, and I honestly thought Gargano would have flipped it and not hit Ciampa because they were, they've been becoming friends lately.
Well, remember Ciampa turned on Gargano before he was injured, and Gargano wants Goldie just as much as Ciampa does.
Yeah, but Goldie's rightful home is with Ciampa. And I'll
Goldie's
say that every
rightful home
week.
is NXT.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, what did you get a chance to watch any of this, Crimson?
I didn't watch it live, but I did watch like the replays of the pay-per-view. More so, like
what did you think about this match?
It was a good back and forth match. Like honestly, like I agree. I figured somebody was gonna interfere with it because right now Adam Cole's the top guy for them, and
Baby.
they're gonna support him. But like I figure it was gonna be interference as well. Like it was either Gargano was gonna interfere somehow, or it was gonna be New Era, his dynasty, interfering with the match.
Yeah, because I'll maybe the tag team come out, or maybe Bobby Fish and who is that other dude?
Roderick Strong.
Roderick. No, not Roderick. I'm talking about Fish's partner.
Oh, the New Era. I don't know. I don't know anything about them.
I don't know.
What's the name? Anyway,
his name is important. Move on.
But Adam Cole did win, and that was with a interference from Johnny Gargano against Tommaso Ciampa. So that's going to lead into here over the next weeks, leading up to the WrestleMania weekend, which is the next pay-per-view for NXT. Will be, are you seeing Ciampa and Gargano renew their rivalry again?
I think so.
I think it's gonna happen because it was a good feud before Ciampa got his injury.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I've heard, several things about how the draft at the WrestleMania NXT is going to be a big part of that, and people will be being brought up to Raw and SmackDown. So I'm guessing whoever wins this match will kind of be the torch holder for NXT, whether it's Ciampa or Gargano, and the loser will probably be one of the people brought up to whichever show it happens to be. I don't know, but
I really hope I really hope Ciampa gets brought up. Honestly, to have Ciampa come up there as a solo, not as a team player or a tag team or anything, but as a solo, to actually give some of these guys, because there's more than just Goldie up in Raw and SmackDown.
There's lots of Goldies.
There's lots of Goldies. There's all Goldie's relatives that he's gonna go shiny, and go after.
It's Goldie Lots.
Goldie Lots. Ha! Yeah, I got that one. The next match we had coming up that we had going was the NXT Championship. The Women's NXT Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. And the result of that,
great match.
It was a great match.
Clean match. Rhea Ripley got the win. Afterwards, Charlotte Flair came in the ring, attacked Ripley, and pretty much confirmed everything we've been saying, that it will be the Queen, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for the title. And I still don't understand why, but it is what it is.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Now, we've all sat there and not just on podcasts, okay, not just here, but we've sat in a channel before and just talked about it. Why in the world would the WWE put Charlotte back down to NXT? NXT is thriving. They don't need Charlotte. I mean, they got Finn Balor that came back, that wrecking house. They got just a bunch of new people coming in. I mean, you got Bootylicious. That's all I know her name by, because that's all I'm gonna say. But you got her coming in here shortly on the women's side.
About Scarlett?
Yeah.
Scarlett Bordeaux.
Bootylicious. That's all I'm gonna call her. Bootylicious. That's it. Because I'm not gonna remember Scarlett Bordeaux. Not gonna remember it.
You can remember it. Scarlett Bordeaux. Bordeaux.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. What are you thinking about this, Crimson?
Honestly, within the last couple months, especially before Royal Rumble, they've built Ripley up big time to be the face of NXT. Only thing Belair, she's a good wrestler. I think she came out of Booker T's wrestling school.
She did.
Um,
Out of Houston.
I just don't think the build up they made for her match was the best build up for the match between them, because it was going between everyone wanting the title and then her winning it. So I don't think it gave the right atmosphere to build up towards the match. But especially with Charlotte attacking, that's something we already figured out and have talked about. So, like, I think Belair should deserve another chance, but build up a better match up to it than to how they put it together, just so that Charlotte will come in at the end and basically say, "Okay, I'm your opponent now."
Well, I mean, and they have been building Bianca Belair up because, like, you know, that's why she's the EST of NXT, right? She's the bad bee, if you want to get, you know, use the terms. But I don't know why they're gonna build her up so hard and put her up so high that she's the baddest being in the world. She went undefeated for a while. She went this, that. She finally lost, and then she started losing momentum immediately. And now I think to get her back in momentum, they put her up against Rhea Ripley for a championship match, knowing, you know, unless you're just dumb, you're knowing that she's not going to take the NXT championship off there, especially if they're already pushing and already thinking that Charlotte is going to come back to NXT.
Correct, and that's like with how they were doing it, they kept doing multiple matches, multiple people in the match. They weren't giving her single match build-ups to actually look like, oh, well, maybe she's going to take it.
Yeah, and every match that Bianca Belair was in was a tag team match. I mean, unless I just missed one. She was always in a tag. She was always with, you know, either, you know, two other women for like the women's tag team stuff, and or she was just, it was never a full-time match, because they either, you know, somebody came in and hit the other person she was wrestling against, or just whatever. They never gave her that big solo match that she could actually show what she's doing and show what she's worth. My opinion. Jay?
I think they've already kind of told us what they're going to do. If you look at last year's Royal Rumble, Women's Royal Rumble, Rhea Ripley came in and just was dominant.
Mm-hmm.
She got thrown out. What happened now? She's NXT champion. This year, what happened? Bianca Belair was dominant in this year's Royal Rumble. So after WrestleMania, when Rhea Ripley beat Charlotte, because there's no way in hell they're having Charlotte Flair go back to NXT. I mean, for Christ's sake, Naomi wasn't doing anything, and she asked to go back to NXT, and they refused to bring her back when there was nothing going on for her. But Charlotte is too big of a person to be down on NXT. Finn Balor, nothing going on for him. Wasn't that big of a player in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Went back to NXT, he's reestablishing himself as a name. Fine. But Charlotte Flair is way too big to go back down to NXT, and she cannot be the champion and be on Raw with the NXT title. The title needs to stay on NXT, which means Ripley will most likely win at WrestleMania, lose it to Bianca Belair, and then most likely be called up at some point. That's just the way it's gonna have to be.
So is that a spoiler from Jay?
I'm not gonna say it's a spoiler, but there's too many signs pointing to this is the way it's gonna be.
Okay. What do you think, Crimson?
I think basically Ripley's going to keep that title. I don't think she's ready for main area or event yet, but I don't see Charlotte going back down to NXT, just because of her family name.
Mm-hmm.
She's too big just off of her name, as well as she already has a presence in the main event with multiple title wins. Even though funny to say, but I think they may have her be like her father with the most title wins for a female, or have her beat the most reigns, so it stays with the family. Even though I know Cena, I think, is one away from breaking the record.
Yeah. He's tied, I think.
I'm pretty sure he's either tied or one away.
He's got 16 right now, and he needs one more to beat Flair. They just never have given it to him, and now he's.
I don't see them ever
star.
giving it to him, honestly.
That's why I think Charlotte will be the one to take it if they do something along the lines that she takes the record from her father.
I mean, she's already got the most. She's already got the most championships as a female anyway, right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's held every piece of gold in WWE except for the tag team championships. Actually,
Yeah,
No,
she
yeah,
never had
she's
it.
never had tag
Yeah,
team.
she hasn't had them
Are
yet.
they gonna consider the women's title to be like the heavyweight title where Ric Flair's held it 17 times or whatever? Are they gonna say, well, if Charlotte wins 18 times, is it really gonna be in the
16.
same comparison? Whatever.
I mean, it
I
could
don't.
be. You know, it's not the title hold. I mean, because if you're gonna look at title holds, Flair has more than 16.
Yeah,
Because he's had the Intercontinental Championship, he had the European Championship for a while, he had this, he had that. Like, he's had 20, 23, 24, 25 titles.
I think you need to look at it as its own separate championship. You have just like you have women's title, men's
Mhm.
tag, women tag, whatever. So Ric Flair has the most for the men's. Charlotte, most likely, I think she does have the most for women now.
Yep.
That's just the way it's going to be. Even if she wins it 20 times, Ric Flair is still going to have it the most for men's, and then Charlotte, whatever she ends up with, will have it for women. It's going to be just a separate thing in the record books.
And I think that's only fair. Because
Yeah.
you can't, the women have done so much in the WWE over the last 5 years. And I say 5 years because the whole women's revolution basically started right around 5 years ago. Down in NXT with the four horsewomen.
Yeah.
You guys know them, right?
Yep.
Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte.
Charlotte. So, and two of them don't even are. I mean, two of them are. I mean, they reinvented Bayley, and I mean, I like her better this way. But I'm not gonna go off. But we're gonna get on a rant. And we don't need to do that. The next match was Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano, and Finn Balor won. I was really hoping Johnny would have won because of what Finn Balor did to him to put him out.
That's pretty much what you could say about that match.
But it
fought,
was kind
Finn
of
Balor
a
won.
it was
That's it.
kind of a lackluster match. I mean,
That was-
Johnny, I saw probably 2 botches in that whole match, and it was one from each of them.
Yep.
Where Finn missed a stomp, and then Johnny missed he missed something, or no, Finn missed a over the top rope dive, and basically Johnny had to move over just to catch him, quote unquote. And it was just a botch. It was just a really, I mean, it's like I'm watching AEW all over again.
Mhm.
Next,
bomb.
next, next match, NXT North American Championship, Keith Lee. Woo, woo, Keith Lee. Woo, woo. Okay, versus Dominik Dijakovic. I think I took Keith Lee in this. We're not keeping track
all
of it yet, but I think we all
We all
took
did.
Keith Lee just because Keith Lee is, I'm sorry, he's a monster. When
He
we were
is.
watching the Royal Rumble, when Keith Lee came into Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar looked at him and go, "Damn, you're a big son of a biscuit." Right? And he actually said it like, "Whoa, you a big boy." What do you think about that match?
Crimson.
Honestly, I think it was a good match. They built them both up, especially I know with Keith Lee when he did make the Royal Rumble match. From what I was hearing, Vince McMahon was impressed because before that, I heard McMahon wasn't going to push him, but after the NXT cage match with all of them, and then the Rumble, he's starting to impress himself with McMahon. And especially, I was surprised when they gave him the NXT title.
And that means a
But-
lot to impress McMahon.
Yeah, and McMahon's not an easy person to impress, but
Mm-mm.
they've built him up the right way compared to other wrestlers in the industry, where they just would rush them to the top, and people basically got sick and tired of seeing them each pay-per-view in the main event or in the main picture.
Jay?
The beginning of this match was extremely boring. Like extremely boring. It was.
Lots of botches.
I don't even know what to call it. It was just. It looked like they never wrestled before. Honestly, it literally looked like they were complete noobs walking in the ring and just not knowing what the hell they were doing. But then halfway through, they kicked it up to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
you
and we
had-
were talking about it while they were wrestling,
Yeah.
too. Like, oh my God, they
You
kick
had
it up
Keith
to a
Lee
10.
sitting. You had Keith Lee sitting in a chair outside, and Dominic jumping over the ring, doing a somersault and landing on him in the chair. Like crazy stuff like that is what you want to see in NXT.
Mhm.
In the end, I was happy Keith Lee won, but if they could have just strung together a match that was from the middle on the whole time, it would have been probably the best match of the night.
I agree. I agree. Next match coming in was the NXT Tag Team Championships Undisputed Era versus the Bruiserweights. I know, Jay, you don't like
Broserweights.
Broserweights. I know you don't
I
like
hate
the
Matt Riddle.
original bro.
I hate Matt Riddle. That's what, and you know what? It's not even that I'm surprised. I've heard he had heat on him, which is why I was surprised that they allowed him to win.
Yeah, I heard he was
But-
making some ruffles. He was
Yeah,
making some
so I was-
waves backstage.
I was very surprised that the Broserweights won this, but to be 100% honest, I didn't watch the match.
Do you have any information on what was going on backstage?
No.
No. Okay.
I do know he pissed off Goldberg a lot, but that's no secret.
Goldberg's pissed at everybody.
No, not everybody, but he literally called Matt Riddle a booger from somebody's nose.
Yep.
Like, he legitimately says that he wishes he could pick him and flick him. Honestly, like, he really cannot stand Matt Riddle. He said he's very annoying and he cannot stand being around him. So
I can see that. So the next, what do you think about Crimson?
I didn't watch the match, but with going off with him ruffling feathers, I know Royal Rumble backstage, he said something to Lesnar, and Lesnar told him, "Boy, you're not in my league. You won't ever face me." Also, now I know he's having issues with Orton outside as well.
Yep.
So, but I was surprised that they gave the Bruiserweights the title with all the heat on Riddle being as cocky as he is outside the ring on social media.
Yeah, social media was really another big thing that they were. From what I seen, I'd have to get the thing up again, but they were, from what I seen and what I read, everything with Matt Riddle is like behind out in the ring where the cameras are.
Yeah.
Amazing. He's a great wrestler. That's a really strong word. He's a good wrestler. He has the moves. He has the, you
he's a good flip-flop kicker.
He needs to, yeah. He's great at flip-flop kicking. But he just needs to get some more experience in the ring. I mean, it was where that sounds. But backstage, he's ruffling too many feathers to where I see within the next few weeks, the Bruiserweights are going to lose it to whomever.
Could it
have
been a situation of them wanting to push Kevin Dunn or whatever's Pete
Dunne?
They wanted to push Dunn more than punish Riddle, and that's why they gave him the win.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
well,
it balanced out that way. So maybe they wanted to push Pete Dunne a little more than really punish Riddle, because at least now he has a championship. He can rock the tag team champions for a while, and then when they're ready to bring Pete Dunne up, they lose it, and Riddle gets sent to hell, basically.
Well, they lose it, or Matt Riddle gets mad enough, or Pete Dunne gets mad enough, because you see when Matt Riddle's making, like on TV, when he's making jokes and everything, Pete's like, okay, sure, like never
maybe
smiles.
That's what they do. Maybe they'll turn Pete Dunne heel and have him take out Riddle, and they lose the titles. It could be anything.
Yeah, that could be something. Crimson.
I could see Dunn doing something, because Dunn basically made his name. I was impressed with him when I first saw him in the NXT, the UK version, but I don't see him as a tag team wrestler for much longer. He's not known for it. He's more of a single by himself wrestler.
Yeah, he's a down and dirty wrestler too. I could see him.
Wasn't he the first UK champion?
Yes.
Yes.
I really want him to go heel. Right now he's a face. In my eyes, he was so much better as a heel. He wrestled better as a heel. He gave promos better as a heel. Like, just, he was better as a heel. But next match we got in there. Now this match stemmed all the way from
War Games.
War Games as Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. And it was a street fight.
Sorry.
What are you guys thinking about that? Crimson, what about you?
I think it was a good build-up, but I don't see the reason why they brought that Garcia, I believe her name was, in, and I didn't even know who she was, but from actually looking her up, her father was a wrestler with like Latin wrestling companies throughout Mexico and South America and all.
Yeah.
So like she has family blood in wrestling, but the whole atmosphere after that match was over was like, who are you? Like they didn't know who she was, like how they did with AEW when they put the Butcher and the other two guy in.
Yeah.
Was it Butcher and Blade?
Yeah, Butcher and Blade.
Mm-hmm. And then instead of letting them just kind of do their thing, they put them with Bunny, which then, if you guys are anybody's watching AEW, then they had a whole thing with MJ, what is it? What's his name? MJF or whatever. What he paid him to kick the crap out of whomever. Like I said, it's a really boring show. So, my opinion with Dakota Kai. One, I like how she's wrestling. I like the change in her. It's kind of like a better where they're both faces, like where like Bailey and Dakota Kai, they're both faces. Bailey turns heel, gets totally darkens her hair, everything else like that. Dakota Kai does the same thing, turns heel, and then she already has dark hair, then she just darkens her ring attire and just goes heel. I like the way she's going. Even if she's not winning her matches or she's doing them, she has some kind of slip-ups and some kind of botches, but she's actually, in my eyes, she's doing well. Tegan Nox, I don't really know much about her because she was one. I mean, yes, they were best friends all the way through NXT and through in NXT and then through the training camps and all that other stuff.
They rehabbed injury together. That's where the whole storyline was.
Yeah, and they both hurt their knee. Well, and then of course the knee thing comes out where Dakota, you guys watch. If you guys haven't watched the match, go watch it. You can just watch it right on WWE Network. It's only $9.99. Shameless plug for WWE. But that's it for the NXT Takeover Portland. Overall, I think the show was a decent show. Once the matches got started, I kind of felt like once the match, when the match started, and this is every match, every one of them started out so slow. And like the first 5 to 10 minutes of each match, literally, was just boring. I mean, this is something that Jay said the other day where, hey, I could just get up and, hell, I didn't even watch half of it just because it was boring. If they were to start out a little bit faster, a little bit all around, a little bit more hitting.
You notice that's how you know they belong in NXT though, because they can't give you that immediate pop like the main roster can. So once they can give you that immediate pop, is when they go up.
Yeah, Crimson, what do you think about this show that you watched?
Honestly, I see that they still had a lot of issues with talent not knowing how to build up the match quickly and starting off very slow compared to the main roster, even though they do have some time to time a slow match, but they know how to lift the match up. But when the ending of the matches, they built the match up, but I think it was just a little too late to start it when they did. They built it, bring the experience up, but you can see who's ready for the next round, like to come up on the main roster, as well as who still needs time to develop themselves down in NXT.
Right. Well, and two, like you got to think about it too. When you're on the main roster, even though they have slower matches in the beginning, you still have that immediate. As soon as that bell rings, you still have that pop because they know what to do, what to say, how to look, how to do everything already. And then as they're learning, they'll move up and everything. But let's get right on to the Super Showdown, which is going to be this coming Thursday. If you guys are watching this now on YouTube, it's Sunday. Wait, today's Sunday. It's Monday.
Sunday, 2/23.
So coming up on Thursday, February 27th, will be the Super Showdown. And so let's talk about this.
You have some matches added in because last week we listed the matches, but there are a couple of ones added.
And there were some changes too, weren't there? No, that was for Wrestle Mania. Yep. So Bray Wyatt versus Goldberg. Exactly. Have you guys been watching Raw and SmackDown?
Yep.
So
Yep.
you guys seen Goldberg spear?
And that's why Bray Wyatt's going to win.
You think?
Yep. Goldberg's not scared of the Fiend, and then the Fiend's going to beat his ass. Or butt. Excuse my language.
Oh, this is
I know, but
it's not a
it's a waste. It's still a waste no matter which way you cut it.
They bring him back in. I don't agree with him coming back.
okay. So right away, Jay, we'll just start this, and Crimson, you can be in on this too if you want to. But who's gonna win?
So you know what I'll do? I'm going to put names next to the names of who we pick. So I'll just do it now.
And you could just do it if you want to, so I can keep going. So Jay, who do you think is gonna win? You say Bray
Bray.
Wyatt.
Yep.
Crimson, what about you?
I'm gonna go with Bray Wyatt as well.
And
I
that'll
just don't see
I'll go. With
if they do it with Goldberg, from the rumors that I'm hearing, they're gonna make him hold title to WrestleMania versus Roman Reigns, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see Goldberg. Goldberg is one of those things where he was paid for what, like 8 appearances or something like that, and that's it. And he's already had 4. So you got 3 or 4 more. Those 3 or 4 more is going to be up to WrestleMania when he's talking trash to Bray Wyatt, and then WrestleMania will be his last appearance. Or I'm sorry, WrestleMania won't be there. WrestleMania will probably be his last appearance. Period. My opinion, anyway. Next match we got on is WWE Championship: Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet.
Brock's going to destroy him.
I'm gonna go Brock too.
It's not even going to be a competition. Brock's going to destroy him.
And we had a talk about this last week, where we were talking about, kind of like, why are you going to bring Charlotte down to NXT? It's the same thing. Why would you ever want or have Ricochet beat Brock Lesnar? I don't know. It's not going to happen. It just won't. In what world would Ricochet beat Brock Lesnar? Because, he's half the size. He's less than half the size of the guy. Crimson?
I'm sorry, what was the question? With Lesnar and Ricochet?
Mm-hmm.
I think Lesnar's gonna keep the title. I don't see him losing it off bat like that to Ricochet. Ricochet has talent, but he's more known for his jumping around instead of technical wrestling like Lesnar does. So I don't see him being ready yet to take the title.
Okay.
Like if I see him face like for the US title, something like that, yeah, but for the main title, I don't think he's ready yet for it.
Okay. Well, and I'm going with Brock Lesnar too, just because it's not going to happen. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The New Day versus John Morrison and The Miz. This is going to be something to where I really, really want The New Day to win, but the way they're building up John Morrison and The Miz, there's a lot of people that hate The Miz just because he's The Miz. I love The Miz. And Jay knows why, too. I'm going to go with John Morrison and The Miz just because they're just the build-up. New Day's already established. They're already on top of the game everywhere. Merch everywhere. Just because they don't have Xavier Woods doesn't mean anything. Period. Jay?
I think this match is going to be awesome. But yeah, I think Miz and Morrison are going to win.
Okay.
I don't think there's going to be there's no way around it. I just think it's going to be Miz and Morrison.
Crimson?
I agree with what Jay said. I'd see it being Morrison and Miz taking titles.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you guys, how long do you think, if the Miz and Morrison wins, how long is it going to be that they're going to keep the titles? Is it going to be for 6 months, or is it going to be till WrestleMania? What are you guys thinking? kind of a how you would book it type thing. And we'll just get these out of the way right now.
I'll say a couple months at least to establish that they're back to what they were before Morrison and him were teammates. But I think if they lose it at WrestleMania, it would be too soon to establish them as being a team again or making a name for themselves again.
Jay?
I've heard things. I don't know how true they are.
Spoiler.
I would no, not even spoil. I mean, I heard rumors that it was going to be Miz versus Morrison at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title with Morrison as the champion. I don't know what. There's so much stuff going on, but I don't know. Maybe they win it at Super Showdown and they keep it till Elimination Chamber and they lose it to the Usos or New Day. Then, it could be just.
Isn't Braun Strowman Intercontinental Champion?
For now, yeah.
Yes.
You think Morrison will win that?
I don't know. Who knows what they'll do? Maybe they'll do a 5-6-man battle or 6-man match for the Intercontinental title elimination chamber too. Who knows?
You're me last week.
No, I took like a breath in the middle of talking. It just like completely just threw me off.
What do you think?
I had to change the card though because we had contradicting Seth Rollins matches, so I just took them both off till we actually know what's going on with that. Because we had him in a 6-man tag with AOP against the Viking Raiders and Kevin Owens, and then we also had him with Murphy against the Street Profits for the tag titles. So I don't know which one it's going to be. So we're just not going to bother with that, I guess.
Okay, we'll come back to that before the main event, so that we can actually say, what would you do, kind of thing. Crimson, what about you?
I'm sorry. What was the question again? I apologize.
What would you do with? How long would
you let if John Morrison and The Miz win? How long would you let them keep the titles?
I'll say for a couple months at least to establish that they're back together as a team as well as being champions.
Okay.
Mine's opinion, New Day's been together too long now as a team with all three of them. Even though I know the one's out right now injured.
Supposedly.
No, he's definitely injured.
He's sure doing a lot of jumping around and up, down, down. But that should be.
Well, he's in a boot now. He had Achilles surgery, from what I know.
So he did have surgery.
Yes,
finally?
He had Achilles surgery. He was doing a lot of rehab, and he's in pretty much a walking boot now, where I guess he's protected to, bounce and whatever.
I'd like to see him back on, even if not in a competition role, but just on a role of him bringing out, his what did he name that dang trombone? But bringing out his trombone and hyping up and doing the hype thing, because he's really good at it. But next match, King Corbin versus Roman Reigns in a steel cage match. There's no way possible. I don't like Roman Reigns. We all know that. I do not like Roman Reigns, but I hate King Corbin just because of the way they're running it. Yeah, I'm going there. But I'm going to go Roman Reigns just because they can't give a loss to Roman Reigns right before WrestleMania. You just can't. You can't. Not with the way he's been pushed and been taken off, and then all of a sudden had the Usos in to help him, return that dog food favor back to King Corbin. I don't see Corbin winning at all. I don't see Corbin winning for the next 2 months, honestly. My opinion.
I get that. You said they can't give Roman Reigns a loss before WrestleMania, right?
I just don't see him doing it.
They still have Elimination Chamber, and he's going to be in that. That's where he's going to get his title shot at WrestleMania, supposedly.
Yeah, but Elimination Chamber is 6 dudes.
No, I know, but they'll give him that win, to make up for whatever loss he has. But I honestly, I hate this feud. It's over with and done with. I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to see it anymore.
If you think about it, it's the exact same feud that King Booker had back in the day.
Yeah, it's boring as hell. It really is. It really is boring as hell. It's not entertaining at all. Just like the whole Lana Lashley angle, as many people thought it was whatever. Stupid
Dumbest angle
and
ever.
boring ever. The worst. I'm just gonna go with Roman Reigns just because the way he's been built. But to be perfectly honest, I don't really care who wins. And to be quite honest, if I ever needed to take a bathroom break during the event, it would probably be during this match.
Touche. Crimson, what do you say?
Honestly, I think it's gonna be Reigns. It's just gimmick wise, or the build up that they're using on Reigns. I think take it and build him up for the main event or not main event, but for a match at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I'm tired. I'm tired of Corbin's gimmick as King, as when even it's basically the same gimmick Booker had, like you were saying.
Okay. Next match, Braun Strowman. We're gonna go through these these last matches here fairly quickly, so we can get into the main event. Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I've actually liked this little build up. The matches they've had, where Braun Strowman won the championship. I'm going Braun, just because I don't see Braun losing it to Shinsuke. I just don't. Maybe if they extend the feud to where Shinsuke wins it back at WrestleMania or something. But I don't know. I just don't see Braun losing. Unless there is interference that the referee does not see. That's what I'm going to call. Jay?
I'm going to go with what I want to happen, and I'm going to go with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
Because I want the interference. I want them to take the title from Strowman, and I want him to be pushed to the main event level and potential champion that he should be. So I'm going to go with interference, Nakamura winning the belt, which could lead into then John Morrison going against Nakamura for the title, because that is a little more of a even match compared to Strowman versus him. We have Morrison maybe win an Elimination Chamber, go to WrestleMania against The Miz because The Miz is mad or whatever. And you have maybe Strowman go to WrestleMania to fight whoever the champion is then. Or maybe it's a triple threat with Strowman, Reigns, and whoever, or I don't know. Could be anything.
Okay,
But
Crimson?
I'm going to go with Nakamura.
I think Braun will still win the title. I just don't like. I know they've been building him up multiple times for the main title, and basically right before it happens, he always ends up getting in trouble by saying something or doing something, and he's ruined his timings with that. So I think he still needs a little bit more time actually holding the Intercontinental title before he can go for something bigger.
Whatever do you mean getting in trouble? Would you be talking about ripping Vince McMahon's door off his limo or flipping his limo? I don't know. That was funny. Next match is I'm not even going to pronounce this word because I can't. But it's the first ever. It's a Jay.
I would
What
say
is that?
to wake, the first ever to wake
Trophy gauntlet match.
That's what I would say. I don't know.
So the participants so far that we know about is Rusev, R-Truth, AJ Styles, the United States champion Andrade, Eric Rowan, and Bobby Lashley. I'm probably gonna go. Man, you guys talk about it and tell me why you picked what you picked, and then I'll think.
I'm gonna go with my pick. I pick Rusev. I think Rusev is gonna. They need to do something with him. He's so damn popular. And if they're not gonna put a belt on him, they have to make him win something. So I think this is the perfect thing.
I would have went with Rusev, but I think they're still going to carry the little storyline out with him and Lashley. That's why I'm not going to go with him. I think AJ will take it just because they're going to build him up for something. Especially with Andrade that's going to be his first match back, I guess, for his suspension. I don't think they're going to let him win it.
Yeah, he's in trouble right now. But
yeah.
they let Matt Riddle win, and he's in trouble. So,
Yeah, but with Roland, I don't see nothing because they're not building any storyline on with him besides Pitt in the cage is all they're building up.
I see I don't really see Rusev or Bobby Lashley winning because they have that rivalry already to where they're going to take each other out kind of thing. To where they're all going to be off. R-Truth is just kind of one of those. I mean, R-Truth is the 7 million time, 24/7 champion.
24/7, 684 European TV
7-Eleven. Yep. All the championships he's held. I just don't see R-Truth doing it. AJ Styles possibly just because he's on that. He's still on the, even though he's up in the rankings, if you want to say, but he's up in the talks of everything, and he's just a great performer. Eric Rowan is kind of like R-Truth with the filler type. So I'm gonna probably have to say go with AJ Styles for that. Last match, and yes, they gave him another women's match, guys, is gonna be Bayley versus Naomi. Who's got it, guys?
Bayley's
Bayley?
gonna be holding the title to WrestleMania.
I think Naomi will take it, especially with her coming back and being forgotten. I think they're gonna build up something between her and Bayley for WrestleMania.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Bayley for the win in this one, just because I don't see them taking the championship off Bayley right now. I just don't. Not at least not until WrestleMania, just because there's so many times where she's come across and proven, I mean, that she can do what she needs to do to have a good match. 1, 2, to actually be a champion. And we know the way that when she's given her promos and all that other stuff, like, she still says to this day, I'm a role model. I don't know what kind of role model you want your kids looking at, especially with the way she acts, but I'm going to go Bayley with this one too. So now, guys, it's time for the main event. Now, what we're looking at is these are some possible rumors, matches that are
Pipe bombs, spoilers, could be literally anything right now.
And so we're just gonna kind of go through this and talk a little bit about each one, and then that's gonna be the end of the show. So, Jay, you wanna?
Okay, so as of right now, WrestleMania 36 in Tampa, we all know 2 confirmed matches so far are Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar for the title, and Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT title. Rumored matches from there are also Bray Wyatt as champion versus Roman Reigns.
Boo.
Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler.
Ooh.
For the Raw Women's title. Bayley versus Naomi for the SmackDown Women's title. Edge versus Randy Orton, that we all know.
Mm-hmm.
The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. A women's Battle Royal for, I don't want to call it the Andre the Giant Women's Battle Royal because that's just weird. Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo for the U.S. Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really know if that's probably going to be a pre-show thing. I don't know. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. I'm building it up, so most likely. Women's tag title match. Don't know who the champions are going to be yet, but that'll probably be a match. 2 matches that were rumored to have been happening, but from what I hear have been scrapped at the moment, were AJ Styles. I'm sorry, not AJ Styles. John Cena versus Elias. But I've heard that was scrapped, and Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns supposedly is scrapped now as well. Could not be more happy to hear that because I do not want Roman Reigns as champion again. But I think the most interesting match on this card that I haven't mentioned yet is supposedly confirmed, but I haven't really seen it yet. As we all know, The Undertaker gets to pick his opponents every year. And from what I hear this year, he has chosen AJ Styles to be his opponent.
So
now,
go ahead. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Yep.
Because we all know Undertaker has had one of the best careers in professional wrestling that I've ever seen, and I've been watching it since the 80s. Yeah, I'm that freaking old, guys. I've been watching it since the 80s, and it's just one of those things where I really want to see it. Why do I want to see it? 1, Undertaker is not as mobile. We talked about this before the show, but Undertaker is not as mobile as he used to be. I mean, the dude's 50 years old, so it's one of those, well, or close to. But AJ Styles is one of those wrestlers that can jump around, can run around, and run circles. Not circles fit or like just whatever, but he can run around and basically get into the spots where the Undertaker needs him.
Yep.
I just think AJ Styles would give Undertaker, if this is potentially a last match, could give Undertaker one of the best matches of his career. Mm-hmm. Besides, of course, the whole Undertaker, versus Kane, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels and Sting and all,
Mm-hmm.
This could be one of Undertaker's best matches of his career. It just could be.
It could. In fact, now that you mention that, the reason The Undertaker chose AJ Styles was because he views AJ Styles as the modern day Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how epic the matches were between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels that finished Shawn Michaels' career.
Mm-hmm.
So could this be a reversal to where they have AJ Styles beat The Undertaker, kind of cement Styles for beating the dead man, and the new HBK beats and retires the dead man just as he retired HBK? I don't know, but I do think that it will be a good match because AJ Styles knows how to get great matches out of people that can't do it anymore.
It's a talent he has. I mean, he was doing it over in New Japan, where I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me, but he was about to retire from New Japan, and AJ Styles and him had a 5.5-star match. You guys don't know what that is, we'll go over that at some point. But they had a 5.5-star match, which was just a great match. A good match in wrestling is a 5-star. There's only been like 3 or 4 6-star matches. Granted, Kenny Omega's been a part of 3 of those, but we're not going to talk about Kenny Omega right now.
To be honest, I don't understand how I have to watch an AEW. I'm not impressed in the least.
I watched some New Japan Pro Wrestling with the old Kenny Omega, where he was with the Bullet Club and with AJ Styles and Finn Balor and all those guys, and just the matches were just awesome. And then I watched AEW and I was like, what is wrong with? I mean, really? Get out of here. And keep in mind, reason why I keep up with Kenny Omega as much as I do is because he is a gamer too. Mm. He is a hardcore gamer. Yep. So it's one of those things where I hope it just gives that. I hope AJ Styles, if it's true and it actually pans out, I hope and wish that the match is just great. Just because it could be, we've already talked about it, it could be The Undertaker's last match.
And I do believe that if I don't want it to be his last match, I want his last match to be versus Sting, so we all get what we've wanted to see for years.
A decade, yeah.
It's just something that we all want to see. They both aren't young anymore. They both can't move around well, but I think they can work well off of each other since they're not, like putting Undertaker up against somebody like, Randy Orton or anybody. It's too much for the Undertaker. But if you put him up against somebody that's kind of just as fragile as he is, with the way Sting was forced to retire because of the neck thing with Seth Rollins, I just think they're both going to protect each other and give the best match they can. And to be honest, most people want to see this match strictly for the build-up and the videos that will be played towards each other, because we all know they both know how to play head games better than anybody.
Yeah, that's true. And then that's kind of why, if it comes out true, that's kind of why. The Undertaker probably picked AJ Styles, is because AJ Styles, if you guys have not seen him in the New Japan days and his independent scene, like, he takes care of the wrestler he's wrestling. Mm-hmm. He's very good about it. If you see
himself.
Yeah, he'll hurt himself before he hurts his opponent. But if you guys have seen it, to where AJ Styles would do everything that he does, from the phenomenal forearm to the calf crusher to everything, he takes care of his opponent. And you can't say that for a lot of wrestlers these days, because it's all about, I gotta do this, or I gotta go over the top. All you have to do is get to the top, and it's enough. but you have to go over the top to when you think you need to make a statement, which is just not even. It doesn't make any sense to me. Crimson, what do you think, brother?
I don't know. Like, I can see it happen with AJ Styles, but if this were to be one of Taker's final matches, I would honestly like to see him face what's his name?
Kane.
No, not Kane. The one that they're pushing him big right now on Raw. The dude that rises from the.
Oh, Aleister Black.
I would like him to see that so that they can pass the torch on to him to continue like the darkness. If like a match, but I can see it with AJ Styles going against Undertaker, and especially like how you were saying with him taking care of wrestlers
Yeah.
when Edge did that spear, he tried to sell it as much as he could, and he even said he messed up selling
Yeah, he
it too much.
separated his shoulders doing it.
Yep.
I can see the passing of the torch to Aleister Black for darkness wise, but I think Aleister Black is too hard of a hitter for the Undertaker. I think he would literally hurt the Undertaker with the way he hits.
But you got to think about it. Like, who are you going to pass the darkness to? The guy that's already in darkness, or the guy that's leading up to being in darkness? AKA, who's leading up to it? Aleister Black. Who's already there? Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
Just with the Fiend. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but I mean, when I watch it on TV, I still get chills when I hear that music. And when I see that mask, I still get chills. Like, I know it's fake.
I know it's the lantern has Bray Wyatt's face as the whole lantern itself.
Yeah, and then it's Bray Wyatt's mouth that's wide open with the light. Like, dude, like it gives me chills thinking about it. I got goosebumps. Like, it just. But I think honestly that Bray Wyatt could have a good match, and this is something that I would say. I think Bray Wyatt could have a good match with Undertaker, because Bray Wyatt takes care of his opponents too. He always has, and yeah, so.
I know also that from what I've read, they're saying Undertaker is like in the best shape that he's been in for a while for whatever match he is going into.
Yep.
So, guys, this is a part of the show where we just kind of take a small little break from the main event, and now it's time for JayStunZ and his
pipe bomb section.
Pipe bombs. Jay, take it away.
So, we'll know that the Hall of Fame's coming up at Wrestle Mania and everything. I had it written down that it was a rumor at the time, but it was since confirmed on Friday that the Bella Twins will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. We all know that now. The only names we have confirmed so far have been the Bella Twins, Batista, and the NWO. So I've heard 3 names that I'm going to throw out there that are supposedly going to be inducted. Don't know if it's definite or not, but those 3 names are the British Bulldog, JBL, and Jushin Thunder Liger. And I remember watching Jushin Thunder Liger way back in the day in like WCW.
Mid-80s.
He was crazy.
Mid-80s and 90s, he was nuts.
JBL I liked more for his Acolyte stuff than his solo run, but he made his run on the solo run. That's that's where he made his mark on it. It's a solo guy.
The reason I don't like JBL, okay, even right now for Hall of Fame, give him a couple more years, sure. But with what he did at the end of his career by just treating the locker room like total trash everywhere. Not even with not even with what's his name? Not even with him and the tag team that they had. But it was said, and it's documented, where JBL was one of the worst backstage people. Like, he would get on your butt and just not let it go.
It was, but then you look at people like the Ultimate Warrior too, who left really, really bad taste in people's mouth in the backstage area. Time you learn to forgive, and he's been in contact with WWE. He's mended fences. Judging from his career, is he a Hall of Famer? Yeah, but
maybe with
I don't know. I think he definitely should go with Ron Simmons without a doubt. I think he should go in. The Acolytes should be in together without a doubt. But with the NWO being the main. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll throw Ron Simmons as a rumor guy, and then they'll throw them in as the Acolytes. I don't know.
2-time.
Maybe. Apart from that, we have a popular name returning on SmackDown soon.
Mhm.
Last I remember, I think he was on Raw, but I think, supposedly he's going to be coming back to SmackDown. Jeff Hardy will be making his return to SmackDown after finally getting clean.
Again.
It's weird to think about it though, because you have Matt Hardy, whose contract is just ending, but now you have Jess, whose was extended because of his injuries. So he had an injury, he got the DUI or whatever. So
But
who
I
knows
heard.
how much longer Jeff Hardy will be around?
But have you seen in the last was it when he confronted Randy Orton? He didn't come out like the old Matt Hardy, or he came out like the old Matt Hardy, not the new Matt Hardy. Didn't have the streak,
Right.
didn't talk like this, didn't
Right.
say anything. It was, yeah, what are you doing, Randy? Blah blah. Like, come on, you're gonna bring him back. Bring the new one back.
Well, Matt
Why
Hardy's
not?
on his way out. Matt Hardy's on his way out. He's not renewing his contract with WWE. Where he's going to wind up, who knows? Supposedly, maybe AEW, maybe
That'd be so
somewhere.
cool.
Who knows? He wants total creative freedom to do what he wants to do. Even
And he
though
can
he
get
was
that at AEW.
woken, even though he was woken Matt Hardy in WWE, they didn't give him full, complete.
Nope.
He doesn't care about his money. He literally just wants full creative freedom to do whatever the hell he wants
He
to do.
doesn't need money.
He doesn't. He really doesn't.
Have you seen? Have you seen like I literally? I mean, I know you've seen it. Everybody's seen it while we're like on the Hardy compound. Have you actually seen the Hardy compound?
It's huge.
Holy crap, dude!
He's got a whole YouTube series called like the Broken Universe or something like that, where he's just been going off on a bunch of stuff. Matt Hardy.
I mean,
'Cause I think
go ahead.
from what I've read, that property is so huge that Matt has his house on one side of the property. Jeff had his house like on the other part of the property.
And their parents were in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a wrestling ring built inside of a shed as well. They literally do have a wrestling ring there.
Well, now it's an actual giant building to where they could actually have 10,000 people come out to watch, but they don't want that many people on the property. But you know what I mean?
Right.
To where they could have an event at the Hardy compound.
Yep.
It's like a giant 20,000 square foot pole barn, basically, that they did everything and hyped it up. And it's basically like the same arena that NXT has. It's that big.
Yep.
Like, Full Sail. Like, what? And when I saw that, it was one of those things where I was like, holy crap, dude. That is amazing. Any more pipe bombs, Jay?
Just one more. At WrestleMania, you will see Becky Lynch, the man, finally be considered a boy because she's going to lose her title to Shayna Baszler. Becky Lynch will be going on a break, most likely with Seth Rollins after WrestleMania, because whether it's just take time off or whatever, or get married, who the hell knows what's going on. But
Wait.
Shayna Baszler will be, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are getting married. They're
I thought they were
engaged
over.
now. No, they're engaged now.
No, they've engaged.
So
they're engaged,
the
they're gonna be married.
breakup was just all a show? Because she was talking about, like, little dingy, and, like, she was all up in it on the...
Yeah, that was all for show. But they are getting married. They are going to be most likely getting married and going on their honeymoon after WrestleMania, taking some time. So you're going to most likely see Shayna Baszler hurt her to an angle where she's out for a while, which could potentially set up a Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey at some point.
You think Ronda's coming back? I didn't think she was coming back.
At some point
I
she
think
will.
she will.
She doesn't have a contract anymore.
She still does have a contract, but it's not much. She said she does want to come back, but she doesn't want to work the full schedule that the WWE makes her work.
Right, cool.
She still wants to do the family thing, so if she does appearances here and there, signs a contract for a couple of years with a couple of, appearances here and there or whatever, that's what she'll do.
Well, because
Well,
I know
think
that...
she's-
Go ahead.
I think she's still under her one contract, but when she got injured from that movie when she separated her fingers, I think that's what held off her contract being expunged.
Yep. And last thing is, obviously, we all know the Raw after WrestleMania is when big things are going to happen. You probably see some people return or debut or whatever, but keep in mind they will have a draft after WrestleMania to kind of elevate people from NXT to SmackDown or Raw to equalize the face or heel ratio or whatever. But expect a lot of NXT people to be main eventers at that point.
Yeah, because from what I heard, to touch on two things here. What I heard with the NXT is they have almost a full roster in training right now.
Yep.
For an NXT, because the NXT roster is what, like, I think 38 or 43 people or something like that. It's some crazy number, but they almost have a full roster in training at the NXT training camp.
Mhm.
So I could see a lot of them come up. I don't know. I mean, they have so many superstars now on the main roster that they don't even use them all. But who does what?
Yep.
So,
Crimson, do you want to mention the potential glitch pipe bomb?
From what I'm hearing, the time bomb with the glitches that they've been showing the last couple weeks on Raw and SmackDown is a debut for Killer Cross and Scarlet Bordeaux. I can see it happen, but then I've also read that on the one part when it shows like it looks like a clock with all the dots, that
Mhm.
it's also from Mufasa Ali. But from what everything's pointing to, that's going to be for Killer Cross, because Killer Cross has been putting cryptic messages on his Twitter the last couple weeks as well, when it basically started happening.
There you go.
okay. Yeah. Mic drop. All right, guys, that is going to be it for today's show. We really appreciate you guys watching this. If you guys enjoyed yourselves, make sure you guys leave a comment down below, because we do want to know what you guys think. We really do. But we're going to do the exit here. Crimson, our guest, thank you very much for coming on with us and hanging out with us and talking to us. I do hope that you can join us here in the future. Would you like to, again, let everybody know where they can find you at, sir?
Yeah, thank you for having me today. But yeah, if everyone check me out, my Twitch channel is Twitch at crimson.tv, or Crimson like it's spelled in my logo. Basically, I'm just a down to earth streamer, so if you want to come hang out, that'd be cool. But thank you guys for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. And then, guys, that was, again, twitch.tv/CR1MSYN. So go check him out, guys. Go throw him a follow. Show him some love. Jay, where can they find you at, sir?
You know me, Twitter, JayStunZ, twitch.tv/JayStunZ. That's, it's pretty much where I'm going to be. I have an Instagram, but I don't really use it. Might be getting shut down soon. I don't even know. But if you want to contact me, I'm in the Dark Side Nation Discord. I am in my own private Discord. If I know you well enough, maybe I'll invite you to it. Maybe I won't. Who knows? You have to wait and find out. But Twitter and Twitch, I'm both at JayStunZ, and that's it.
Definitely. And, guys, you can find me at anywhere that you can just type in Obionex2, and there I am. Twitch.tv, we got Instagram, we got YouTube, and, of course, the Dark Side Nation right on Discord. If you guys want any of those, just hit us up, guys. Again, the easiest way to hit us up on this is just comment in, guys, and we'll get you up going. I really appreciate everybody. We'll put everything down in the description below so you guys can check all that out, including the Discords and all that other stuff. I love you guys. We love you guys. We really appreciate you guys watching. Next week, our next show is going to be, I believe next week, actually, because
2 weeks.
March 8th is 2 weeks. It'll be March 8th is the Elimination Chamber, so we're going to be talking about that. But, guys, we love you. We will see you.
And one of your hosts will be a year older.
Ooh, Jay's birthday. We'll see you guys later. See you next show. Peace out, guys.